What up? What up? Stop chasing. It's Marcel, aka Honey Bunny Sunny, and you know I'm on a mission to make you some money. Listen, welcome, y'all. Get on in here. Y'all get on in here. I'm just vibing out right now. Y'all let me know in the comments where y'all chiming in from. QTZ, what up? Let me know where y'all chiming in from. This album right here, yo. This is this joint right here. The Fall That Saved Us, Odell. This all I've been listening to. This all I've been listening to. Just vibe all the way around. How y'all feeling today? We got the week coming to an end, right? Well, the year, I should say, coming to an end. Um, we got tomorrow, then Wednesday we off, and by the time we come back from that break, we will be in 2026. So we got half the year in 20. I mean half the week in 2025, half the week in 2026. So man, what can I say? I just made a post in TPC, basically just letting people know, like, some people did well this year, some people didn't do so well. But it's time to just kind of like sit back and reflect, think about the things that you want to change and implement in the new year. Also, from a tax perspective, you could write off up to $3,000, right? So you could write off $3,000 in your on your taxes if you had any sort of losses this year. It'll obviously deduct from your taxable income, making it a little bit easier on you. So something to think about. What else we got in here? Also, so basically, what I'm gonna do, y'all, and this is how they'll all go. I'll take questions from you guys. I'll take any sort of analysis that you need done. So if you have a stock in mind, just let me know that stock. I'll go and do analysis on it, break it down, and we'll go over what I think it's going to do this week and beyond. I'll also show you what I'm looking at and break that down and clock that. So you can go ahead and actually type in the comments what you want to see me break down. So I got a few that I'm already going to do, but if there's a specific stock that you want me to analyze, now is the perfect time. All right. So if there's something you want me to look at, let you know where I see profit, where I see opportunity, go ahead and put it in the comment section. All right. So I'm gonna give it a few more minutes before I get started. JTX OD 0DTE. Okay. Can you make a video on the spreadsheet you made tracking your trades journal? Yeah, I could. I could definitely do that. Um, yeah, I can go into depth about that. Are you in? I'm not sure. Are you in the prosperity collective? Because I do have something similar, not necessarily a video, but like I do have a template of tracking your trades. So if you're in there, you can have access to that. I could definitely direct you to that. All right. But y'all, as y'all come in, like I said, let me know where y'all chiming in from, and also drop whatever stock you want me to go over. So if it's something that's something specific that you want to look at, just let me know in the comments. P, what up, P? How you feeling, brother? You doing all right over there? Hold on, P. Where you from, P? I see you on all my videos. I'm not, where you based out of? All right, so I got three stocks I'm gonna look at, y'all. I'm gonna go over MRK. That was the play that I called today. I'm gonna look at Spy, and I'm gonna look at Palantir to see what we got for the for the week. You said Georgia. Okay, what part of Georgia? I went to school. I went to school in Atlanta, so I was down there for a few years. Dr. V, how you feeling, Dr. V? How you doing? Oh yeah, so I got MRK, like I said, Spy and Palantir that I'm gonna go over. If there's anything that y'all want to see, just be sure to drop it in the comments. Darrell, what's going on, man? You said eBay and TSM. All right, let's add it to the list. eBay, TSM. We'll take our time and break these down. Okay. I'm doing great, Dr. V. Thank you. I'm grateful. You know what I mean? Like life is just beautiful. Um, I'm excited to go into this new year with y'all and really see the level that y'all take it to next. So, um, I got some rest. I feel rejuvenated, and like I said, just ready to go into it. You said Cordell, 3 hours from Atlanta. Okay, I never heard of Cordell before. Is it south of Atlanta or? I'm not sure if I ever heard of Cordell before. That's what's up. All right, so let's get into some of these analysis. I'm gonna start with MRK. Let me share my screen. All right, and I just need y'all to let me know in the comments if y'all can like when y'all can see my screen. Can y'all see my screen? If y'all can, just give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that, Dr. V. Yeah, we're working hard. We building something incredible. We got a lot of things popping up for you all in 2026. So it should be a really good year. We're gonna have some in person events. We got merch coming. All types of really cool stuff. So I'm definitely excited about that. Okay, y'all can see. Cool, cool. Maxine, how you feeling over there? He said he said yes. He said watermelon capital. I love some watermelon, man. Do y'all grow yellow watermelons out there? That's one I haven't tried. Pamela, how you feeling? Good to see you. All right, y'all. So we got this. I got MRK drawn out today. Let me turn this down. So today I actually called entry on MRK, and as you can see, it did close slightly bearish. We also did close with with this failed two up. I don't see it coming down further than a retest, right? So I'm just going to take this tool right here and show you. So right about here, 105.90, 106 is about where we should see this pull back to. If it breaks below that, then it may be, if you're in the play, then that may be a time where it's like, all right, maybe we'll get out of this. The pullback shouldn't be more than just a retest because we are in a breakout. So if a break in a breakout, if the pullback is less than a retest of that previous high, then that's a break of that particular structure, and it may be wanting to come back down and retest, institutional level down here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for MRK. So put 10, I would put 105.80. There's always like a little bit of like slippage. So I would say 105.50. That's a psychological level. 105.50 to 106 um, in that zone. If we can get some sort of a reversal, like on a higher time frame, like the hourly tomorrow, if it comes down there. It may not even come down there. This could be a failed two up that actually doesn't even play out. So it could be a blown up. We could blow this up. Today could have just been down because of volume. Super low volume, but we could get a lot of buyers coming in tomorrow to push this up to continue breaking up to the top. So that's what I'm looking at for MRK. Again, in the group, I'll let you all know if I decide to cut this if it comes a little too far down. All right. So again, 105.50 to 106. Just kind of keep those areas in mind. All right. Barry Bloomberg, what's going on? How you feeling? 757. I see you from the seven cities. There we go. Yeah, happy Ujima. Yes. Group economics. All right. All right, so that's MRK. The next one I was gonna look at is SPY. Hmm. All right. All right, so I got SPY pulled up. Let's see. So SPY is actually the opposite. SPY has a failed two down on the daily. So SPY, and it's a failed two down, but it's a doji. So even though it's a failed two down, it's still an indecision candle. It's not necessarily a reversal candle. So I would just need more confirmation. We got to just see how this plays out tomorrow. Again, this week is very similar to Christmas, right? We're probably not going to have a ton of volume. We're probably not going to have a ton of major moves. There might be like a couple. So even with MRK, if we can get a positive move tomorrow, if we can get into profit 20-30%, even if we don't hit that target, I'd be open to taking profits because we don't want to get caught up in you know coming off of the market being closed and it being a new year and people just being extremely skeptical about putting their money anywhere. So um, anything that you can get this week, definitely take it. Like, don't hold the bag too long to the downside, or the upside, right? If you get too much drawdown, like, feel free to get out. It's not worth it trying to, wait for a rebound because it's the week before the new year, right? Um, if SPY does break this level tomorrow of 686, then clearly, as you can see, it has the potential to come down to about 670 $676.50, somewhere in that area. Obviously, not all in one day. It could be a couple of days. But if we do close below this tomorrow, this has a lot of room to the downside. So with that being said, you just think about any stock that's on SPY. It probably has a similar setup. So I go to the next one was Palantir. So I go into that just to show you what I'm talking about. Because I believe Palantir also had the same situation. It was like a failed two down. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure SPY had the same situation. I mean Palantir. No, so Palantir didn't have a failed. Okay, so Palantir looks like it's bearish. Palantir had a three down candle, closed bearish on the engulfing on Friday. So you had a bearish engulfing, broke below the. Damn, you know what? I didn't take my own move. I didn't take my own move, bro. This was on my watch list, my Sunday watch list. I said if it closed below the trend line, I would take it, and I didn't take it. Did anybody take Palantir? Write in the comments if y'all took that based on the watch list. I didn't take my own move. That's she said six. That's funny. Hilarious. Did anybody take that Palantir play just based on the watch list? Or do y'all normally? Let me ask y'all this: do y'all normally take plays that I have on the watch list um, before calling them, like just based on the levels that I call, or do y'all normally like wait for a signal for the actual entry? Like, let me know in the comments because a lot of times I miss my own play and like focusing too much on on another play. Like this was a beautiful setup right here on Palantir. Like we should probably see this come down to at least 176 tomorrow. It's very possible to see a $5 to $10 downside move on Palantir tomorrow. Let me see what this looks like on the weekly. Yeah, yeah, and it's coming out of this bearish order block too. Yeah, this has room to come down for sure. Somewhat of a double top, like a awkward double top basically. Confirmation outside of the trend line. Damn, I wish I would have caught this before, like in the last 10 minutes of the market. That would have been a good play for tomorrow. But either way, like I said, the levels were called. Hopefully some of y'all caught that. So that's Spy, Palantir, and MRK. Again, MRK is hinting like it wants to go down, but I believe it's just a pullback. I don't see it being any more than a pullback. Um, Palantir could be coming down, not in a pullback, but actually changing trend, right? Because we got the break of the trend line. That's something to always keep in y'all back pocket too, y'all. Like whenever you're looking at a play, right? Whatever strategy is, I don't care if it's the 15-minute orb. I don't care if it's strat, the strat method, or one of the different three candle combinations from the strat method. You can never beat the simplicity of a trend line, right? Whether you're looking at it on a short term perspective or a long term perspective. When there is a breach of a trend line, like that direction is typically changing, right? So obviously on the higher time frames, if you get a close that's like high or higher or lower than the trend line, depending if it's up or down, like it's typically going to go in that direction at least for a few candles. So we should see like some significant move down here on Palantir. Hopefully we open. Matter of fact, if we open up like slightly up tomorrow on Palantir, but still holding the inside of this candle, I would be interested in getting puts for like a few weeks out, maybe a couple weeks out. I don't want anything. I don't think I want to buy anything else that has a weekly expiration date, just because we got a closed day, and typically that doesn't end well. All right. What else y'all got for me in terms of stocks y'all want to see? Let me know what y'all want to see so I can get pull it up. Yes. Sometimes I take plays off your watch list without you triggering. All right. Okay. Cool. All right. So yeah, you know what you're doing there. So shit, I would say the last few watch lists. I mean, really every watch list is money just in the watch list. You know what I mean? Like I said, I miss a lot of them, but the three out of the three, it's either going to be two out of three or three out of three, unless there's something weird going on with the market. Yeah. All right, so we got Spy, Palantir, eBay. Oh yeah, eBay and TSM. Keep sending y'all, y'all requests so I can go and look at them. Let's go TSM. Let's see. I'll share my screen in a second. I'm just gonna pull it up so it's already. All right, TSM. You said what's that? One DIA. What's that, Doctor B? One DIA. DIA. Okay. Let me get DIA. DIA. All right. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Let's look at TSM. Take a little look see. All right. So TSM. All right. That's on the weekly. Let me get to the daily and really break down what's going on. Ooh. Oh, TSM is coming down. So on TSM we have this is a bearish engulfing, yo. So we got this final bullish move right here, right? And then we got this inside candle, right? It's almost a perfect bearish harami. Let me um, let me shrink this a little bit so I can see exactly how far this can come down. Oh, this is oh, there's plenty of room on this. I bet a lot of people got caught up in this one, right? You probably saw this bullish candle right here. Some people probably were chasing it, right? This is why like whenever you catch a move on a major reversal, it's very important to stop chasing. I say that all the time, every single video, right? Because this right here would have made a lot of people enter, and then we got the fail to up right here. So this could be the end of this move for now, and it could be wanting to come back and first retest the low of day, and then if it can break down from there, then it has the potential to come all the way down here. But we just gotta play it level to level. But this is a level right here. Let me ask y'all this: Do y'all mark y'all levels based off of closes, or do y'all mark y'all levels based off of wicks? I've always been a wick person, but there are closed people and there are wick people, and there's some people that swear by closes, and I'm like, if something went somewhere, I don't care if it closed there or not, it went there. So I feel like it has the potential to go back, and that's proven me right over these years. But you got some people that mark their levels like just at closes. So when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at, like I said, a break of low of day. The next level on the daily would be, right down here, 296.21, and then just playing it candle to candle, right, level to level. But in terms of actual like real support, there is no support. There is no support for a while, right? There's no support until way down here at like 271. So you're talking about TSM having the potential to drop $30, just depending on on what the market does. So so yeah, definitely puts on TSM again. A good entry would be a close below the low of day. If you could get that on an earlier candle, then you could enter and just keep a stop loss, above it, right? Ride it down, get you 10, 15%, get out. Let me look at it on a lower time frame. Yeah. So it's in a bearish order block on the hourly. Yeah. It looks pretty range bound on a 15 minute, but we're not really concentrating on that. I see TSM coming down pretty significantly. Let me look at it on the weekly. Yeah, same deal. Not a perfect bearish harami on the weekly, but it's a perfect one on the on the daily. Now I know I said I'm a wick person, but when it comes to patterns, the wicks are not super important, right? So when you're talking about a bullish, I'm sorry, a bearish engulf, I mean a bearish harami, anytime you get a candle inside of the previous bullish candle, right? You get a bearish candle inside the previous bullish candle, and the body, the full body is engulfed by it. That is typically a very strong bearish reversal signal. So, despite what it did up here, this doesn't really matter as much when you talk about this particular site. All right, let's see what y'all got. She said Wix for me. Yeah, Wix. Yeah, exactly. Wix City all day. All right, so that's TSM, and I got DIA. Drop any more y'all might have, yo. We always get like part of the way through the broadcast, and then we get the stalling. All right, here's the IA. I'm actually gonna cut this off for a second. Yeah, we got the same situation on DIA. Got a bearish engulfing, right? Strong up move off this order block right here. Consistent push up. Then we got a bearish candle. Tried and failed here, and then exhausted the top, and we got a bearish placement inside this bullish candle, which is a bearish harami. So we should definitely see this coming down. I feel like a big part of the market is just going to be coming down tomorrow. Cross tech, um, which is good for for healthcare. We should see hopefully healthcare responds um, and actually does pump, even though we came down and formed that failed two up on the on MRK. But yeah, this is looking like it wants to come down tomorrow. So Dr. V, yeah, DIA is something to watch to the downside. Let me see it on the 4 hour. Though it is also it's also pretty range bound. Um, I guess this is just like it's just like a it's an ETF based on SPY, but I've never actually traded this particular stock. Um, but I'm assuming if it moves like SPY, like a a 0.50% move like it had today is like decent or average movement. But just from the looks of these technicals, like whenever we have like a order block that's squeezed like this, that shows that it's in a range, right? So we could be doing this little snake movement for a while. The volume is also decreasing, right? So we take this right and just like you could just see, you can see right here the like the decrease in volume, right? And there's no divergence, right? You got a decrease in volume while while the stock is also decreasing. So yeah, I don't see anything that's like exciting about DIA to be honest. I think there's better opportunities in the market, but yeah, if it can break out of this range, so if it can break out of this bearish order block or break below this this bullish order block, then we may see some sort of movement, but just based on where it's at right now, it doesn't it's not really looking like much of anything. Um, yeah, just going to daily again. Well, shit. When I look at the daily, it's actually looking pretty bearish because again, they got the indecision or reversal candle off the order block, and today it closed bearish. It wasn't no wick on the bottom, so it's still a wick on the bottom, which shows that there was a little bit of buying pressure, at this previous candle here, but it could still break below that tomorrow because it is a lower low and a lower high. So a lot of people may have read this as a confirmation. So we could see this come down and try to test this level here around 480. So that might not be a bad put. Just depends on how it opens tomorrow. If it opens green tomorrow, I would just be watching for it to fail. This level here at about 486.50 to 487, somewhere in that area. If you start to see it wicking and failing, and then you get some sort of close on like a 15 or 30, that may not be a bad entry to ride it down. I would I would probably stay away from zero DTEs though, right? I wouldn't get too caught up in zero DTEs on any of these indexes this week because it can get pretty ugly. Something might be looking like something, and then you get tricked out of it, and you can't recover. So um, possibly weeklies, possibly next week's contracts will probably be best if you're interested in that. All right, Mikey Mike, what's going on, brother? You are welcome, Dr. B. He said that daily looks good. Yeah, it does, right? All right, what else y'all want to see? I went over MRK. I went over Spy. I went over Palantir. I did TSM. I did BIA, and I did not do eBay. I'm gonna do eBay. Like started following, loving the content. Appreciate that. Is it Sanai? Is that how you say it? Or Sanai? Let me know if I got that right. I appreciate the follow. Do you have any stocks you want to see us break down? So far, we went over MRK, like I said, Spy, Palantir, TSM. I'm about to do eBay, and I got room for probably about 4 to 5 more. So whatever y'all want to see broken down, just drop it in the comments, and we'll get around to it. All right, let's get back into it. So let's do eBay. Wow. Oh wow. eBay is eBay is very bullish. Had a very strong day today. Um, yeah, eBay looked good, yo. 88.60. Let me draw a level right here. Show you. I'm gonna show you exactly what to watch for on this. All right, so 88.64. A break of that would would get me excited about eBay because look at this huge gap right here. This gap is like, what is this? Also, y'all get familiar with this tool right here. Y'all see this right here? Y'all see me over here in this left panel? This tool right here, get familiar with it and use it. This is letting you know the size of the move in a percentage, right? So you can see easily how how far down a stock has declined, how far up a stock needs to go to recover, all that good stuff. So if we take it from where it is right now, right, this is where the price closed at today. We're gonna click it because I already hit the ruler, and then we're just gonna drag it up, right? We're just gonna drag it up to not that far, just the gap. So that gap is about 9% from where it currently closed. But let me actually do it from. Let me just see how wide the actual gap is. So the actual gap is about a little less than 8%, right? So you're talking about 8% on equities, right? So this is a huge move that eBay has if it can start to break into this area. I don't follow eBay on a consistent basis. I'm saying this stuff strictly based on technicals. I'm not really familiar with what's going on the backside. I could do some further research on that, but as it stands, like that would be the move. It would be a break of this level right here, and then all of this right here is open season from there. Um, and let's see what it looks like on the weekly, because the weekly may agree. They got a nice double bottom on the daily. Yeah, yeah. This looks really good. Again, we break here. Um, we're talking about at least a $3 to $4 move just to get to the first bearish order block. But again, it doesn't. Stocks don't always like reverse right at the bearish order block. Like it could come clearly, as you see right here, it came deep into the the bullish order block. So we could go all the way up here and and actually close the gap right about here. So yeah, I would be looking. I would write down level 88.64, right? 88.64. I would actually set a notification for that too. So if you set a notification for 88.64 on eBay, that would be a good entry. And then obviously just keep a stop loss. Maybe like 50 cent below that entry, just so that it's not a big risk, but it has a a big reward. I love plays like this. right? Catch a breakout, keep a stop loss just in case it pulls back a little bit. Um, it doesn't have to be automatic stop loss either. It can also be like just like know where that number is. I always try to keep my stop loss kind of in my head because sometimes it'll flirt with a certain area instead of fully going down there. So yeah, that's eBay. eBay looks good. I like it. I like it. What else I got for me? You got Amazon. All right. Definitely look at Amazon. Team. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I had a big loss on XOM just before joining the Chiefs here. I still have some of that blood money to recover this year. Hey, listen, hey, look, Mikey, you're gonna get it all back in blood. Trust me. Like I throw a trend line right on that thing. So yeah, listen, anything you look at, like a trend line is like, look, a trend line is like, think of a trend line as like it's like seasoning. You know what I mean? It just make whatever you're doing just a little bit better. You know what I mean? It gives you just a little bit more than what you thought you already knew. It just make it way better. That's always a beautiful way to create confluence, right? You remember confluence is when there's multiple things that are saying that something is going in a specific direction, right? So if you already got a confirmation candle, higher high, higher low, you see that the trend line is broken. You see that there may be some sort of like bullish divergence or bearish divergence depending on whatever direction is breaking up or out of. You got three quick things right there. And you can go look at volume. Then you can go look at even the fear greed index. If it's a longer term trade to just kind of see like where everybody is. You can go look at order flow to see if there is some additional contracts that are coming into that particular stock, right? Like you really like listen with the prosperity collective between me, Zay, the bots, the flow. You have so much support. All you gotta do is really just take your time and make sure that you're entering that one good trade, that two good trades a day. If y'all ever feel like I want y'all to really remember this, right? If y'all ever feel like something that I call was too quick or something like that, and it doesn't feel good to get in, it's okay not to take it, right? In 2026, I want y'all to completely take control of y'all P&Ls, right? You get a fresh start. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna say 0.000%, and it don't turn a color until you start trading. Now the goal is to keep that thing green all throughout the year, right? It doesn't mean that sometime on the daily you might not have a little red, but we want to keep that green every year. So here's what you want to think about, right? When you get a big win, I want you to just kind of fall back. Whenever you get a big win, write this down. Whenever you get a big win, fall back for a quick second, right? And then, first of all, take it in, breathe, and all that stuff. The reason that you want to take it in and breathe is because big wins don't come every day. So when something doesn't come every day, you have to get that into your mind that this is not normal, and I shouldn't be chasing this on a daily basis. You got to get that into your mind because anytime that you lost, I'm gonna tell you, I can tell you damn near every reason that you lose. Right? I've experienced all of it. You're either coming to the table with too much on your mind, right? Too much on your energy field, right? You got too much going on in your mind, and so you don't have mental clarity, right? You need the money, right? Which is also not a good thing. It's never good to need anything in life, right? Whenever you need something, it tends to like what? Run away, not want you as much. That goes for everything, people, all of that stuff. So be able to get yourself to a place where the money that you put into options is for building your account, and you have to work to get to a place where that it can start paying. But that's not something that you want to do initially, right? You want to start building that bank up. You want to start building that P&L up, and just, get used to these, get used to wins, right? Also, breaking your rule is a reason that you lost money, right? You had a strategy, you had an approach, and then something looked better, right? You had a wifey, you had a husband that was good to you, and then something nice walked across, and you was like, damn, I want that. Forgetting everything that this person that you already have, has given you. That's what your strategy is, right? Your strategy, you sat down and wrote out this strategy when you were in a clear mind space. So it's right. Anything you do with clarity is the right way. Anything that you do with fog is typically going to lead to some sort of destructive behavior, but you may get lucky along the way, right? So that luck is what a lot of people cling on to. So they feel like, man, I can be in any condition and trade. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people, it's people that do things that impact their life, and they have like a super amount of confidence that they can pull it off if they don't have complete clarity. Driving drunk is one, right? There's so many versions of people being like, oh yeah, I could just wake up and do this. This is not the case with trading. All right. If you ever do not have a clear head, if you ever don't feel grounded and focused, and like you don't want to have anxiety, none of that stuff, right? Anything that puts you at a little bit of dis-ease, right? Like a little bit of discomfort, you don't want to be trading in that space. All right, so we got that out of the way. When you get a big win, you want to breathe. Make sure that you understand up here that it's not something that will necessarily happen every day. All right. When you get a big win, you have a day or two, or even the rest of the week that you can just fall back because typically you've probably superseded your goal, right? It's important to do that because you want to start stacking the weeks on top of each other, right? The year is what you're going for to be green, but what happens to a year when we break it down? We got the week and we got the day, right? So yeah, I'm going to focus on being green for the day, but there will be days when you're not green. Let's just make sure that we don't close the week out red. Okay, so you get 250 or $500 on Monday, right? And that's somewhere close to your daily, or let's say your weekly goal. I don't know what y'all budgets are, but let's say that 500 or 1,000 is close to your weekly goal, and you got that in one day. Be done with trading. Be done with trading for the week, and really just sit back and observe the market, unless you see something that is so beautiful and so aligned with your strategy that it doesn't make sense not to take it. All right, keep that in mind. Like, and we're gonna be doing some little check-ins with y'all. All right, we want to really make sure that we not letting anybody that's in the group just drift off. Yes, this is your money. You gotta budget it and risk it the way that you feel is necessary. But if y'all just follow the teachings and check in with yourself every week, like when a week goes by, like get up with people in the group, like talk to people in the group, and be like, yo, how y'all do this week? Like, where did I go wrong here? That lessons tab, use that more. Really try to dig into like what went wrong, so we're not letting too much time get away. And if you stay at that, I'm telling you, you stay at that for 52 weeks. We got a fresh 52, right? All you got to do is majority of those weeks be green. That's all you got to do. You will end this year in profit. And whatever it is, right? If when you go from a red P&L to a green P&L, you don't even care how much it is. Somebody talk to me. I know I'm telling the truth. I know some people that if you could have been down, 5, 10, 20,000, whatever amount, and then you go into a year where you might make 500 but you're green, or 2,000 but you're green. Not a ton of money, but you're green. That gives you something to build off of, right? That's positive income for you to build off of. That's something that you got to pay a little taxes on. That makes you feel good. Like I work for that. All right, so it's time to like really lock in and just make sure y'all are clear on that. I know I went off on a rant, but that's how y'all know how I do. All right, yeah, lock in. Stephanie, how you feeling? You say you caught some of my videos in the live session. Appreciate you tuning in. Like, don't feed the greed; it takes from the green. That's facts. That's so poetic. That's facts. All right, so let's get into Amazon. I know I was rapping. let's get into Amazon. But listen, anytime I go off on a rant, it's something that you need to hear. I'm just making sure y'all get all the things that I wish I had when I started. Y'all know my story. I lost $50,000 before I started making money. 50,000 lost before I started making money. So I can tell you all about losses. All right. All right, so we got Amazon slowly coming up in this computer. All right. So Amazon looks like, oh, this is on the weekly. Let me go to the daily. This is my joint right here. This is my joint. This is my joint right here. All right. I don't know why it's such a delay on this thing, man. All right, so here we go on the daily. Y'all excuse all the levels. This is, like I said, on a lot of my stocks, I keep the levels from from years ago. Maybe one day I'll start deleting them, but I don't even really draw levels anymore. So if you see, I still draw trend lines, but if you see like just straight horizontal lines, that typically means that it's a super old level. All right. So it looks like Amazon wants to come down a little bit. Um, what I'm seeing is, low volume is wicking, three straight indecision candles. This looks like it's exhausted, right? It could be a pullback. We'll see tomorrow. But again, if we get a close below this level of about 230, we'll say 230.80, right? If it closes below that tomorrow, that may not be a bad entry for a put. However, you know what? Let me see something real quick. It broke up. So it did change. It did change the temporary downtrend to an uptrend, but again, like I said, it's stalling. So we could see it want to come back to this level where the buyers and the institutional buyers are. So again, if we close below that level, was it 230.80 tomorrow? This might not be a bad a bad swing to down to this level right here. It may even want to try to retest the trend line, so it could possibly break through this order block. We will see. Like I said, it broke out of this downtrend. It did its little pump, but it's fading. And there's also a little bit of divergence there too, because the volume is actually increasing, but the price is coming down. So I got like a lower close. So it's like it's divergence on the volume and the actual stock. So yeah, this looks like an exhaustion of the upside. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Amazon come down tomorrow pretty significantly. Matter of fact, I might add that to my watch list, and we'll talk about it in the morning. All right, we got one more team, and then we can get up out of here. I think we got about 5 minutes left. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me, man. It's always good to see y'all. All right. Also, if you're new, y'all gotta say this. If you're new, and this is your first time, definitely go hit that subscribe button. If you are looking for a trading home, you're looking for somewhere to get down every single day, make money every single day, um, learn and expand and grow with with a great group of people. Um, I'm pretty sure people in the audience can vouch for the TPC, right? Prosperity Collective. The link is in the description. It's in the description of every video that I make. So if you've seen something on here that that taught you something, opened your eyes a little bit, or you just want to come hang out with us, hit the link and feel free to join. All right, so I'm looking at team on the daily. This is in consolidation, so I don't really, I'm not really interested in it. Um, the only thing that would make me interested is it breaking out of this consolidation that it's been in since, the beginning of December, basically. Um, so let's see. I put the level. We would need to get a break of this high right here. So if it can break above 166.50, right, then it has a chance to go and retrace um, this level here, right? So that's about $8. So yeah, it we may see it continue to consolidate this week. So this may not be a move this week, but again, if it can break this level, that's also a level that you can just set an alert on for TEAM. 166.50, put an alert. Once it reaches that, start looking for momentum, right? Start looking for volume, and then you could take an entry with a stop loss just below this 166.50 level. So that's what I'm seeing. Let me also make sure I check on the weekly just to make sure. Um, yeah, it's a possibility. Like again, we got 3 back-to-back weeks of indecision, which you just saw on the daily, which was this consolidation. So it looks like a doji on the weekly, but on the daily, it's just consolidation, right? It was a double bottom down here on the weekly, and that hasn't fully come and broke the high neckline up here. So again, if it breaks here, then the next place will be breaking this neckline here, and it could be making its way up into this order block area. So yeah, 166.50. I think TEAM looks good from there. All right. All right. So that's it, Eric. That's it. Yeah. You see. There we go. What we got in here? So you speaking facts, yeah. 50K, yeah, yeah. Listen, so I got 2 minutes. Listen, all right. I told this story before, but I mean, depending on when you started following me, you might not have seen it. But I started trading. Let me turn this down. I started trading, a little bit before the pandemic, and it was, well, it might be like literally right before the pandemic. And it was me and my boys around that time. It was like, people were posting, um, just like meme stocks and stocks that they thought were good. And I didn't know anything about risk management. So I'm literally, I think like my first account, I had like 14,000 in it. And I'm literally in every play, I'm risking the whole 14,000. Every play, I'm like, it was like the lottery, 14,000 on black, right? And it was working and was running up a bag. You know what I mean? um, running up like a serious bag, and it got to a point where I was just like, man, this is. I started getting real arrogant. I'm like, man, I don't understand why people just don't do this all day, every day. I'm looking up. I'm looking up boats. I'm looking up, mansions in different countries. I'm looking up what my next whip gonna be. I already had a nice car, house, and all that stuff because I was, I came out, a consulting career in corporate. But I was like, man, I've been thinking too small. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at all of that stuff, right? And I was humbled very quickly. I got into a play. It was me and all my boys. We were taking the same play. We would be on the phone, like taking this call based off of this one little fake strategy that we thought we had that we got from some scammer, right? Some scammer guru type, archetype, right? Um, the type. So we were taking that one play, and it was working, and then it stopped working, and it stopped working, and it stopped working. And I'm doubling down. I'm trying to average down, and I ultimately wound up losing $50,000. And when I tell you, like, I went through every emotion, I was just the only thing that you sitting there, you asking yourself like, how is this even possible? You know what I'm saying? So that's when things really kicked in for me. That's when I really had to sit my ass down and really start to study this and understand this. And there were even more losses that came out of that. Nothing that substantial, but it took a little more falling on my ass for me to really understand what risk management was, to really understand how you stack these weeks together to accumulate, profit. And and once I got it, I was like, okay, I get it now. It's not as complicated as we think it is. It's really us. And then I started doing the off the charts work. That's why I got the off the chart series. And I'm telling you, I got a million of those coming next year. I started realizing that the better I become individually, the better anything that I do will be. Right? You have to start with yourself first. And a lot of times we skip that. We be like, oh, I'm good. Everybody think they fine. Everybody think they good. No, most people are not willing to like really look in the mirror and be like, why do I keep losing? Why everything I do start to mess up? Why do I have this bright idea, but then when I go and implement it, it don't work out? It never works out. If that's you, you have to look in the mirror. You got to start making some real change. Start really understanding the little character flaws that you have that you think are not remotely close to trading. They're directly connected to trading. All right? I'm rapping again, y'all. I'm rapping. But y'all wanted to hear the story? I tell y'all the story. I lost the money, fell on my ass. I looked myself in the mirror and I started doing the deep work. Right? I started cleaning up my spiritual life. I started cleaning up my health. Right? I started making sure that everything that I wrote down in this, right, my to-do list, like the visions that I had for everything that I wanted to do, I made sure that I started checking them boxes off every day. Right? I started holding myself to a certain standard. Right? If there was something that I said I was going to do, the most important version of integrity is the integrity with yourself because it's connected to your confidence and the way that you show up in this world. So you can tell people. Some people pride themselves. I've never told a lie. Some people that they pride themselves on never telling. They be talking about people that have told lies and stuff like that. But people lie to themselves every day, which is the worst lie you can tell, because that impacts your like who you are, right? That's the part that people may not see, and people may even see you as a great person, but you know that you can't even keep up with your own shit that you wrote down that you said you wanted to do, right? When you get on that wave and you can show up for yourself consistently, everything else gets easier, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you start doing it. That's all I got today. All right. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I speak from the heart. A lot of times, I get super passionate because, like I said, I'm not one of these people talking out here trying to suck your money out and, trying to get something up out of you. I'm talking purely from a place of love because I've been there. I know what it feels like. And if just so happen to come across my page, I want you to feel like, damn, somebody is looking out, right? It's somebody who genuinely wants me to go in that right direction. And however you decide to get there is how you decide to get there. I just want to make sure that I'm, giving you a little help along the way. All right, that's all I got for you, y'all. It's always love over here. Remember, invest smart, live free, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.